Hello people, morning. I'm very guided, pushed to share this with you. So depending on let's just let it come through. Let me not guide you. Yeah, let it come through. It'll come out and explain how those of you tap into this and you'll be able to get it. It'll help you shift. So we'll do a meditation, use it as a meditation, and go through this, and you'll be able to shift into that new earth. You'll be able to feel it, move into that. And it's kind of a guidance to explain how to shift between the different stories, which you would consider worlds, parallel universes, or dimensions. So this is going to guide you and explain how you actually shift. And what's stopping you from moving into the different realities, different worlds, different... it's a perception. Okay, it's an old... anyway. So this was done just now. And then it was guided. Okay, share it, because it's not something, So there we are. So I shall share it. But basically it's an understanding, knowing... this is where the problem is, the identification that you are this here now is stopping you, because you're identifying with the body and everything solid, so you're not identifying, so you think you're not able to just move into another timeline, another dimension, another parallel reality, you see, because you're stuck here, you're forgetting what you are, so which it enables you to shift into other timelines or parallel universes or realities. So let's just let it come through. Okay, so you can, whenever you're watching this, it doesn't matter, because there's no such thing as time. It's timeless. Get into a meditation mode and tap in and go through this, what's shared in that mode, in that connectivity. Okay, so get into the source that you are, tap into the source that you are, and do this video, go through it, go through the steps, okay, in the meditation, in that energy, consciousness, awareness, all right? So let's just let it go through, because this one did. So it's basically, here we are, the main thing is, this is to help guide you to realize and to move into that space of what you are, out of that linear time space you've been in, right? That box you've been stuck in. So really what you are is no body, no form. Because remember, how would you be able to then have these so-called past lives, other dimensions and other things? How do you think you're shifting through them? It's because you are very identified with this. But when you realize you die, some of you know this, that you are eternal, you know this, at the core, that you are eternal, you are source, you are right. So get that frame of mind first. Now get into you, the source. So you sit in meditation and you are that source. And imagine now exactly that you don't have a body, because you don't. The true you, the bodies come and go, the forms come and go. How do you think you have, are eternal? How do you think? So it doesn't matter which form you change, you know that you are still there. The real you exists always. Doesn't matter which body dies and comes and goes, you're always there. As you think, as you believe, you reincarnate, right? So the you is formless, boundless. You are source. Source has no story. Source has no form. Source is boundless, infinite energy and light. That's the truth of what you are, right? So then you realize, okay, so let go of the story, which you believe this is my life, my body. The story belongs to the body. The life story, what you think is your life now, this thing belongs to the body, not you. It is not what you are and who you are. So disassociate, or just get that connection understood. that the body, the story, the so-called life you're living, has got nothing to do with you. It belongs to the body, which you are not. You are not the story, the body, the life. That is contained, that's the body, that's the form as such. That's the Maya, that's the dream, it's one dream. As you know, there are many, there's no such thing as time, so there are many timelines, many lives, many parallel realities. That's who you are. All you are is boundless energy. You are source. So what you are actually doing is shifting your awareness or consciousness through different timelines, parallel realities, universes. That's all it is. It's as simple as that. You are aware, drop the thing, I'm not the body. I'm not the story. The body falls away, you know you're still going to be there. So let it fall now. Let it fall away. I'm not the body, I'm not that. You are now boundless, infinite awareness, freedom. You are source. You are not, you don't have a body, you don't have a story. You are limitless. Now, you can decide to shift your consciousness to any, your awareness, however you want to say, to any story, any timeline. This is what you're doing when you, in so-called astral, you think you are astraling. And when you view another being, as you say, if you tap into, say, another human, what you will see is a light. What you presume are light bodies. They are no more real than you are. That is actually what the forms are. And the form that you are so-called thinking you are in is that. So all you're doing now is shifting. You understand what you actually are. There's no real solid matter or form. You are going to shift now your awareness into the desired timeline. And you can hop to any timeline experience you want. Because as source, you are just directing your focus now into a different dimension, a different timeline. Because you have no body, no story. You are not any of those stories or bodies. You are infinite, eternal. You are source. You're all that is. So you can decide to shift that form, which is into or drop into that timeline, because that form exists anyway. So you can decide, right, it's not your body. You can shift into the new earth, into the golden age. So now with your thing, focus, bring your attention to, as you want to say, the fifth dimension or the golden age. So put your focus or your attention, your concentration, whatever, onto the fifth dimension or the golden age now. You're moving into that now. And you will feel, adjust your frequency. All you've got to do is adjust this to that. You are now shifting into the new earth, into the golden age, or the new earth, fifth dimension. Now just relax and feel into that frequency, that vibration that you're shifting to. You're recalibrating the energy and frequency to that, and you will be in that, and you will feel it. You can shift the form into that. So what you're doing is shifting, and you can actually leave the form of body. You can move. This is what blocks, let's say, source, is believing you are this. So you cannot shift now. You believe it has to go in, you say, linear time. It's got to be like a progression of time. This is what's limiting you to actually move, because you think it's not possible now to jump into the future or to jump into the past. You can shift into a different timeline, a parallel reality, absolutely, and experience that. You don't have to go slowly and change, because that's just a linear concept, because you believe you're a body. So there's got to be a time process, but there's no time. There is no time. So now you can move, if you allow yourself to perceive that, into the 5D new earth. Now you can choose to focus on that form that is already in the 5th dimension or the new earth. It's as simple as that, because that is you. You are not attached to any form or any body. So you can shift your awareness to any. You can pick which one you are now going to focus on. And you can allow, don't get attached to it. That's not you there, to that form. You can shift that form. That form can stay there. If you allow yourself to know that, it is that simple. It's not like it's going to change back when you finish meditation. Oh my gosh, the world. It is absolutely possible. The only thing that limits you is the mind. If you're dropping in again thinking, it can't do that. You can't move. You can't shift to different timelines, to different worlds now. The body, you can't change form. You can absolutely drop into any. There is no matter. You, this is no form, no matter. This so-called world that you're in has no solidity. It's your awareness that's moving into different, you as source is moving your focus into different timelines, into different parallel realities or versions and stories. So what you want to do is shift now from this story into that one. And if you allow yourself, the mind, to believe, when you, as I say, focus on the fact, it's just remembering, okay, I'm not this body. How can you be this body? Because when the body dies, you know you're still going to be there, right? So then you're going to say, oh, hang on a second. Stop attaching to the story. The story is not yours. The story belongs to the body. So you are shifting into the, if you prefer, wherever, or just not, because they're all just stories. See, none of them are you. You are timeless being, infinite awareness, free space. You have no form, no body. You can choose to bring your focus into any of those and stay in those. So where you put your awareness and focus. So it's practice. You can allow yourself to perceive, because the only one that's going to doubt or contradict you is you. So if you believe it's not possible, because there's linear time and there's such a thing as time and progression, and you can't move now and you can't, it's that you can actually now change and be in that world now. Yes, it'll look very different. It is very different, perceive. But if you allow yourself to accept that, that's it, you are there. But if you judge or doubt that you are able to do this, there's only you see, doing this, blocking you. Allow yourself to understand the concept that you are formless, so you are able to move and shift into any. And this is exactly what you do when you perceive yourself as reincarnating, or is do that, is drop into another story. Because you are the formless, the story, the one that has no story. You see? So visualize yourself, remember, no, I'm source. I'm not the body, because when the body's not there, I remain. I'm not the body, I'm not the story. That story falls away, I still exist. Right, now, I choose to shift my awareness, or myself, which is just consciousness. You're moving through time, so you can choose to drift to anything. It's like remote viewing or astral, right? This is what you're doing. So now you can move, if you prefer, to that 5D, to the 5th dimension, the golden age, the new earth. Okay, allow yourself to settle, allow yourself to attune to that energy. and you will feel. Allow yourself to be there now, and you will feel what it's like to be in that. It's so much lighter. There's only the present moment. You have dropped all stories. You are just absolute beingness. This one's had that experience before, being in that level of awareness. When you remain in the source consciousness, you remain in the as source. You're not identified with the story. See, then you don't worry, because you know you're just now, and you're just allowing. You can feel it. Shift there. You can do it. And if you allow the mind to grab this concept of what it is, you are able to remain there now. You're able to perceive and stay there now, if that's what you wish to. You can shift there. It's as simple as that. You are able to shift to any time, any dimension, anything. If you understand that you are not limited to a form, that you can move into and choose on any form and any dimension and any timeline, because that's what you are. So you can choose that experience, and the more I presume your focus, you can. The more you do this, you can. If it's a problem for the mind is to keep practicing and keep dropping into that, feeling into it, staying in that. So you adjust to that frequency and dimension. The mind. There we are. Keep going back and staying in that. Because the more you do it, then the more you will find your energy will occur, and then stay there. It won't keep going back as the mind does. So if you keep focusing, you can do this meditation and keep just focusing and feeling into that new earth, into that. You can feel it, what it feels like, the energy, everything, and stay there. Just stay there. See yourself there. Be there. It's as simple as that. As you have no form or no body, you can choose and be anywhere you wish. You can drop into any time, anything, because you are none. See, you have no form. There we are. So if you want to practice shifting there now, you will find yourself there a lot faster. By doing this, by focusing on the new earth, not the stuff, because remember, this is a story. Doesn't mean any of the politicians, any of this story has to be in the 5D. It's not. You don't have to wait. People think it's a linear thing. Oh, you've got to go through the whole thing, watch the elections and the same people. This story that you are seeing now, you don't have to stay in this story of whatever you see in the world, the elections, any of them don't resonate. You don't have to choose them. This is not the only choice. This is the mind. This is linear. This is not the only choice, the only story. You can shift yourself into another version of Earth now. It's as simple as that, because you are not bound by this form. This form stays here. You move to another form that's already in that one, because you are not a form. The self is not this form. The self is formless. So practice that. You will see you will shift a lot faster. You don't have to go through this whole process of what is being told now, the story out there, this is going to collapse and that, and who's going to win, any of these things. If none suits you, don't choose a story. It's a story belonging to this body that's on this timeline. You are not this body. You are not stuck in this timeline. It's as simple as that. Remember who and what you are. So you can move and allow yourself to just know. It's that simple. You can stay in 5D or the new earth now if you choose. A big change. So yes, it will not look anything like where you are now, but that's a choice. Allow it to be okay. It doesn't have to be in a slow process. The world has to change and collapse and this. You don't have to go through it. You don't have to. This is a choice, you see. You are source. As simple as you move through, as you say, or other dimensions, other planets, as you drop into, same thing. What you think are other lives, past and present and future, just different forms, different stories, different you're dropping into. So I think it's to practice remembering, all right, I'm not this body. Because remember, when the body dies, you will still exist. Just keep reminding yourself, oopsie, oh yeah. Stop identifying with the form, because you are not a form. You do not have a body at all. You don't have a body. You don't have a story. They are not your stories. The stories are belonging to the dreams, the forms in the different dreams. Yes, you know, it's an illusion, it's a dream. So you are just picking different stories to play and to experience. And what is picking in that? Only consciousness. It's only consciousness that's moving, like your mind, through a story. There's no physical person that needs to move from this dimension to that dimension, or any form. Say, there's you, source, is moving and choosing to. So you can stay there and keep your focus there on the fifth dimension and drop all the others. You don't have to stay here and wait for the world to sort itself out and go through all collapses and rising and any of these things. Those are different stories and different timelines. So whatever story you're saying now, you don't have to choose it as yours, because you're not bound to any of them. You aren't any of them. Remember that. Okay, you are formless. You don't have a body. You don't have a story. There we are. You are that infinite light, that infinite beautiful awareness, that source, that God, that all that is it. You are bound by nothing. You are nothing. There we are. All right. Hope that helped. That might give you, maybe, is to remind or practice, to keep practicing that meditate or whatever. There we are. This was just a guided sharing.